Lord Jesus, please save the white man. My heart's bleeding for our white heritage. Donald, you're a good man. You love America. And you're the only one trying to protect us in our Christian values. It don't matter that our first presidents owned hundreds of slaves. They were building a Christian nation. And we got to keep these Muslims out. They're a threat to our way of life. Everybody look, it's that damn wokeness trying to make me feel like a villain. I saw a taco truck today. And I started shaking because they trying to replace us. Truck, save the white man. Help the white man. Please help the white man. Oh, Jesus, help the white man. Please. Y'all like that? That's the shit we white folks feed ourselves every morning, ain't it? Yeah, we painted a white mirage to a man who's just a modern day Andrew Jackson. Because our white narcissism is so deep, we'd rather treat an evil narcissist like a god and stand equal with a fucking human being. Yeah, I like to hunt. Me and my daddy used to hunt a lot. But ain't what I want to talk about today. You better listen close. When the rabbits got the gun, it ain't no fun. The people we spent 400 years hunting just took a hold of the narrative, and they're about to read back the ledger of everything we owe. You're a white person scared to death that black people want to go do to us what we've done to them. You're projecting your own violent heart, hoping for a payback that fits your bloodthirsty history. But here's the fucking truth. Black people don't want revenge. They never did. That's a white fantasy born out of guilt. They spent centuries demanding justice and fairness, not retribution. They don't want to hunt you. They just want to live their fucking lives without asking for your permission. You won't be left the fuck alone. For you're too scared of a monster you created in your own fucking head to justify staying on top. And look at the sickness of Christian fascism. We're exporting it right now. We wrapped ourselves in the Bible while we funded genocide in Palestine. We bankroll an evil regime that slaughtered over 72,000 human beings, thousands of them children, with their own fucking tax dollars and our bombs. And why are we always looking for a fight in Iran? Why are we chasing brown and Muslim souls all over the Middle East? We tell ourselves it's about security, but we know the truth. It's about oil. It's about resources. It's about a white imperialism that thinks it owns the fucking world. We would not be chasing these wars if they were white Christians. Our Islamophobia is just the newest mask for the same old racism that decides who gets to keep their land and who gets erased for our profit. The First Nations, the indigenous people. Let's look at the receipts. White folks talk about civilization like we brought it here in a fucking boat. The Aztecs, Mexico were building cities that were cleaner, larger, and more sophisticated than anything in Europe. The Aztecs taught white people about sanitation, about complex mathematics, and the concept of zero. An irrigation system so advanced makes white plumbing look like a fucking joke. They gave us the very crops, kept the world from starving: corn, chocolate, tomatoes, vanilla. And how did we pay them? We stole their gold, and then white folks stole their blueprints for democracy. The white Constitution modeled after the Confederacy of indigenous people and the Great Law of Peace. And you want to talk about patriots? George Washington owned over 300 human beings. Thomas Jefferson owned over 600. They weren't just men who happened to have a slave. These were major human traffickers. Your hero, Andrew Jackson, was no different, a salesman of souls who signed the Trail of Tears and blood just to expand slavery. Even today, white people are still trying to steal indigenous waters from pipelines. We ain't conquered them. We've just been the world's most violent landlord. Look at the black soul. This is the section white folks really want to just bury, ain't it? Because if we admit what they did, white genius looks like a fucking lie. They didn't just clear the swamps of D.C. and lay the bricks of the White House. They designed the world white people live in. Hell, you're looking at me right now on a cell phone, right now because of Jesse Russell, a black man from Nashville, who pioneered digital cellular technology. White people have cellular ID, fiber optics, because of Dr. Shirley Jackson. You're surviving surgery because Charles Drew figured it out, the blood bank. And Dr. Daniel Hale Williams performed the first successful open heart surgery. White houses stay warm because of Alice Parker's central heating. And Lewis Latimer's invented the carbon filament that made the light bulb actually fucking work. Garrett Morgan gave you the traffic light and the gas mask. Frederick McKinley Jones gave you the refrigerated truck so the food we eat don't rot. The white people think we got to the moon on white pride. No, we got there on the math of Katherine Johnson. Got there on the math of Katherine Johnson. White people are living in a house designed by the minds we tried to cage. And we're still trying to ban the black authors who wrote the truth about it. That's white intellectual fucking bankruptcy. The integrity of the Hispanic soul. And them immigrants, the Hispanic folks, white people call invaders, are the blood of the Aztecs and the Mayan walking among us today. There are people defined by humility, humbleness, and integrity, work ethic. White folks scream about rapists and drug dealers. It's a goddamn fucking lie, and you know it. There ain't a single piece of data on this earth that backs up that white racist fantasy. The truth we can't handle is that undocumented Hispanics commit far less crime than white folks do. It ain't even close. Hell, they're just families escaping poverty and violence, looking for a better life. But look at white hypocrisy. There are over 500,000 white immigrants here without papers. But ICE ain't knocking on their doors. Why? Because they have the right skin color. ICE is just a targeted weapon used against brown bodies. You sit in your truck and cry about how these people are draining the system. But that's a fucking lie. These humble, high-integrity people pay billions into Social Security they've never seen a dime of. We are the ones crying about a replacement that happened 400 years ago. By us. The spine, Asian labor, and white tears. Look at the Asians and Chinese carved the spine of this nation out of solid granite, building the Transcontinental Railroad when white men were too scared to touch the fuse. And how did white people reward them? With the Chinese Exclusion Act. Then we did it again in 1942, the Japanese internment camps. White people stole their homes and threw them in cages while their sons died for a country that treated them like fucking prisoners. But let's get real about white women. You've played the innocent victim for 400 fucking years. But white women have been the primary executioners of the white supremacist dream. White women are the ones at the kitchen tables teaching our children how to be bigots. White women have used white women's tears as death warrants for entire cities. You don't believe me? Look at Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. One lie, those few fake white tears in an elevator, gave the white mob permission to drop bombs onto Black Wall Street, murdering hundreds. Look at Rosewood in 1923. One white woman lied to cover her own tracks, and white people erased an entire black town for it. Look at Carolyn Bryant. Only took one lie from a white woman to get Emmett Till, 14-year-old little boy, mutilated and murdered. And you're still doing it today, white women. You call the police as your personal hit squad, white tears, because a black man is bird watching or existing in your line of sight. This Karen culture ain't new. It's the same old white supremacy in a yoga outfit. We ain't innocent. White women are the weapon that makes the system fucking work.
Not all of them.
Yeah, no, not all. But too goddamn many. The moral lobotomy. White people don't want our kids to know any of this shit. That's why white folks are so desperate for white revisionist history. We're whitewashing the textbooks, banning the truth, CRT, anti-DEI. White folks are terrified. We're scared that if the world sees the blood on the foundation, the white mirage will vanish. White people are cowards hiding behind a censored curriculum. Whiteness is a moral lobotomy. It's a contract of theft. The final note, a message of love. The people we've spent centuries trying to break, the black, brown, indigenous, Muslim, Palestinian souls, didn't take the gun to hunt us. They took it to bury the fucking lie. Now, most white people are going to hear this and conclude, I'm all about white guilt. You're going to say, I hate white people, or that I hate myself. Nothing could be further from the fucking truth. Actually, I do this work because I love my people. I am white, and I'm telling you this because our love for white narcissism, white supremacy, and Christian fascism is robbing us of our very humanity. It's stripping us of our credibility, our dignity, and our fucking soul. This path we're on is self-destructive. It's actively destroying us from the inside out. I don't do this just for the souls we've stepped on. I do it for us also. Because until we bear the lie of whiteness and embrace the power of whole human family, we'll never be whole humans. In summary, diversity or destruction, you choose. The multiracial democracy is the only house standing. And diversity is the only thing keeping the fucking roof from falling in. Let's be clear. America is diversity. We are a nation built on immigrants, and that is what made us special. This is the engine that allowed us to rise above every other fucking nation on this planet. Our strength wasn't in our walls, it was in our ability to fuse different minds, different histories, different strengths into something the world had never seen. But look at us now. It's only because of our hatred for immigrants and our terror of diversity that we are fucking fallen. We are tearing out the engine because we don't like the color of the people who build it. Isolation is death. Diversity is the only path to a livable future. The table is set. And if white people are too busy praying to a dying empire, then stay hungry, motherfucker. We're moving on. Deal with it. And for my white brothers and sisters, I'll leave you with this. There's Fannie Lou Hamer, a great American, who said, nobody's free until everybody's free. Let that penetrate your little minds, white America. You think about that. Think about it real hard, okay? Y'all have a good day now.
And we're very grateful to white people. So I'm very, very proud and very grateful for white people, and I always will be. And nothing will ever change my mind or make me feel embarrassed or ashamed to say white lives matter.
Hey, bro, why are you putting us Asian people on blast like that? Not all of us hate black people, and the ones of us that do is not because we are evil. It's because blacks act ghetto and always want to come around acting like they own everything, acting like we all owe them something. They are very disrespectful people and never own up to their ghetto-ass culture, always complaining about everything. Black fatigue is a very real thing, bro. And maybe you never live around them, but I have, and they are unpleasant to be around. We Asians have no issue with Mexicans at all, so please remove that video because it is affecting our reputation and our businesses. Thanks. Now, the reason that I'm reading this inbox is because this is one of the many, and I mean many, private messages that I got from Asians after the video that I posted. And the reason why I read this one in particular is because this was the only one that didn't include so much profanity and also so many N-words, slurs, anti-black slurs to be specific. Because although this particular DM obviously has some anti-black sentiments, it doesn't use profanity and also slurs versus the other DMs that are packed with anti-black slurs. Now, normally when somebody DMs me, especially to try to get me to remove one of my videos or trying to address me because one of my videos, I never respond. But I responded to this one because after I read that and after I got so many DMs from Asians trying to demand that I remove my video, I decided before responding that I was going to make a video about this. So this is what I responded. There are 0% Asians in the comment section of that video, and I assumed that it was because no Asians watched it. But the amount of Asians that have flooded my DMs since the video, it has allowed me that a very large amount of Asians did watch it. And rather than commenting with attempts to repair the damages of the Asians that are expressing so much anti-black sentiment, instead, y'all are choosing to secretly ask me to remove the video. Not because you're sorry for your anti-blackness, but because it is affecting your businesses. Wow. How do you, as an Asian, watch and listen to this?
Boycotting the fucking Asian community, they're probably thanking God that your fucking black ass don't fucking go into their fucking store anymore to cause a fucking muck. You fucking black fucking people with your black fatigue, okay? And what your people call niggerism. You see this whole Cyrus case and Mr. Chow? None of this would have happened if you motherfuckers raised your fucking kids right. That fucking little boy witnessed some of his business trying to steal fucking water, okay? That niggerism fucking attitude failed your fucking kid. And if you can't understand and take accountability for your fucking failure, this will continue. More black kids are gonna die.
How do you listen and watch that? And the only response that you have is, can you please remove this video? Because it's making us look bad and it is affecting our business. See, what you could have done, the responsible thing to do, is you as Asians who don't agree with this, is you should be making videos to attack anti-blackness. The anti-blackness that exists in Asian cultures. See, one of the statements that I made on my video was the fact that Asian cultures worship whiteness and are anti-black. For example,
And we're very grateful to white people. So I'm very, very proud and very grateful for white people, and I always will be. And nothing will ever change my mind or make me feel embarrassed or ashamed to say white lives matter.
Asians get on camera to worship, to protect, to praise whiteness. But when it comes to black people, they do this.
Race is a charged topic for those who make it about race. I'm not gonna prioritize the feelings of those who make race-based victimhood their identity because I generally don't care.
He doesn't prioritize the feelings of those who make race-based victimhood identity. And in that, you would assume that he stays out of making content about race and or race issues. However,
so here's an update on our boy Chud the Builder, fellow feral American, our little brother who gave us raw entertainment at his own expense.
Our little brother who gave us raw entertainment at his expense. Your little brother, because he gave you raw entertainment. What was the raw entertainment? Let's check it out.
Or what, nigga?
Stop saying nigga.
Or what?
Why you saying nigga for?
You might want to back up. You're going to get sprayed.
Why the fuck you saying nigga?
Because I can say it's America.
But why?
Because I can say what I want, nigger. No. Or what? Go pick up my hat, nigger. You heard me, nigga. Fuck your shit. Touch me again.
Shit, white supremacist.
Touch me again, nigger. That's what I thought.
So on one hand, you are idolizing, you are supporting an openly racist white supremacist. You are encouraging white people to do that shit. And on another hand, you're doing what?
I can smell it. A mainstream blacks versus Asian people debate. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't coming from us. We don't want to be associated with that victim mentality bullshit. You people with a resentful victim mentality is poison. There's a trend of a certain mindset of black people calling in Asian-owned business to make them lose money because of the Rick Chow and Cyrus case. Do not give these people anecdotal fuel to fuel their own narrative or justification. Because if you do, they'll end up stealing or causing more havoc in the communities and society and will end up footing the bill. Best thing to do is support your Asian business.
Asian people, don't DM me to complain about my video. Don't demand that I remove it. Instead, address the fact that your Asian cultures are anti-black on one hand, and on the other hand, you worship whiteness. You seek white proximity when you come to this country from your Asian countries. If you have a problem with that, address it. Respond to these Asian content creators that make videos to uplift and worship whiteness, white supremacy, meanwhile turn around and express anti-blackness. Because this is what goes on in Asia.
你为什么这么黄呢？
不黄，
你不黄吗？
我不黄，我红的。
我是黑种人，你是黄种人。
美国也有黑人。你车上有枪吗？车上有枪吗？
So people are stomping on, punching, and even pouring boiling water on a black baby-shaped stress relief doll known as the Natasha doll. The backlash grew after some users claimed the white version looked too human to hurt. Many people called the explanation racist and dehumanizing.
Stay out of my DMs and address your people instead. My comment section about Asians has no Asians in it. None. Assuming none of you watched it. But obviously, so many of you watched it because you are flooding my DMs demanding that I remove the video. Not because you're ashamed of your anti-blackness, by the way, but because it is affecting your black business. Affecting your black businesses.
And we're very grateful to white people. So I'm very, very proud and very grateful for white people. And I always will be. And nothing will ever change my mind or make me feel embarrassed or ashamed to say white lives matter.
Hey, bro, why are you putting us Asian people on blast like that? Not all of us hate black people. And the ones of us that do is not because we are evil. It's because blacks act ghetto and always want to come around acting like they own everything, acting like we all owe them something. They are very disrespectful people and never own up to their ghetto-ass culture, always complaining about everything. Black fatigue is a very real thing, bro. And maybe you never live around them, but I have, and they are unpleasant to be around. We Asians have no issue with Mexicans at all, so please remove that video because it is affecting our reputation and our businesses. Thanks. Now, the reason that I'm reading this inbox is because this is one
Do we consider all white people colonizers? We aren't all English, okay. So the crackganda have gotten you good. In this video, I'm gonna mention a chain of cracktivities that doesn't involve the English. Let's not even start with people of color. As a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna mention black people until the end of the video. Because for some reason, whenever I talk about black people, the cracker chip inside your head malfunction, and you can't think. So let's talk about white on white crime. White people have been trying to colonize each other, not one, not twice, not 3 times, but 10 different times. You see how I took the action of a madman and then framed it to be the action of a whole country, and then framed it to be the action of a whole continent, and then framed it to be the action of a whole race? Doesn't feel good, does it? Let's bring our attention to South America now. These are the official language that they speak in South America: Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch. Now, why do you think that is? You ever opened up a menu in a restaurant in Chile? Why do you think the menu is in Spanish and not some native language? Why do you think there are so many whites in Argentina? Even better question, what kind of God do you think they worship down there in South America? And why do they worship that God? Why do they have a big ass white Jesus statue in Brazil? None of this is exclusive to one single continent, because the white touch is everywhere. If you ever get a chance to go to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, go to District 1. And I want you guys to go to this church. If you stand around long enough, you can practically feel the dead souls of Vietnamese slaves that built this church grabbing your ass. Because this is how many people that have died under French occupation. And this is just a soft estimate. Do you know who outperforms even the British and the French during the transatlantic slave trade? The Portuguese. And now everybody pretends like it didn't happen because they got a motherfucker that can kick a ball really good. Oh, but Bradley, what about Denmark? What about the Netherlands? Sweden? Those are neutral countries. Your predictability disgusts me. You mean the countries that also participated in the transatlantic slave trade? Slavery ended 200 years ago. It doesn't count anymore. Your predictability disgusts me. First of all, this sentence, crackganda, not even true at all. Second of all, just because one certain type of cracktivity ended doesn't mean all cracktivities ended. Look at the list of countries that colonized Africa after abolition. So not counting the British, France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Spain, Portugal. Amplified destruction. They literally invented the malaria vaccine so they can colonize deeper into Central Africa. Also, this is without mentioning the modern colonization of food, hair, fashion, music, language. With all that being said, defeat the crackganda, remember the cracktivity. Liberation be your thoughts, peace be your heart. How do we
One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even.
Because black people refuse to bow down collectively. Black people are very rebellious. But let me be specific as to what I mean by rebellious. History has shown, at least American history has shown that no matter how much white people try to bend and mold black people into their whiteness, black people refuse and rebel and always end up doing their own thing. As opposed to Asians, Middle Easterners, people of Latin America, all these other people, when they come to this country, or if they've been in this country, white people manage to successfully tame them, assimilate them, and mold them into whiteness. I mean, Asians are known as the model minority because they behave in the way that white people feel safe. In other words, they behave and do anything and everything so that white people don't feel threatened. And what causes white people to feel threatened? All these other people that are not Black American, when they come to this country, or if they've been in this country, collectively, they act and behave in a manner and in ways that white people do not feel threatened. And I don't mean threatened violently. I'm talking about white people feeling like their whiteness is under attack. And that's why white people always use the word assimilation, assimilate. If you come to this country, you better assimilate. Everywhere that white people have gone, when white people leave Europe or have left Europe and gone on to other continents, whether it's Australia, Africa, the Americas, New Zealand, the Caribbean islands, Hawaii, they've never assimilated. On the contrary, they forced the indigenous people to assimilate into whiteness. And once white people have successfully colonized, ethnically erased the indigenous people's cultures and identities, then they force them to assimilate into whiteness. And then they demand anybody else, if you come to our country, you have to assimilate. And for the most part, Asians, Indians, Arabs, and people of Latin America, they assimilate into whiteness, which makes white people feel safe. And yeah, sure, there are some Asians, very, very few, some people of Latin America, some Africans that will not assimilate. And that's when white people say, get them out of here. They're ruining our country with their culture. But when it comes to Black American people, no matter how much white people have tried to erase any trace of their original cultures, ethnic identities, etc., Black people always come up with something to identify their uniqueness. They give themselves unique names like Marquisha, LaQuisha, Lamar, etc. They have their beautiful afros, their locks, their braids, and basically their unique hair texture that nobody else on earth has. When it comes to fashion, they come up with their own, they popularize it, and now everybody in the country, everybody in the world wants to be it, wants to mimic it, wants to copy it, wants to exploit it. Anything that Black people come up with artistically, fashion, music, style, swag, they popularize it. Not just amongst their own people. Everybody wants to copy it. Everybody wants to look, act, talk Black. Black American, to be specific. And it causes white people to feel threatened. Their whiteness is supposed to reign. Their white culture is supposed to overpower, overlaps any other culture, subculture they call it. A lot of times, if you look around, whether it's Asians, Arabs, Indians, people of Latin America, Africans, when they come here, what do? Collectively seek proximity to whiteness, assimilate, and white people feel safe. Everybody just blending in with white people. At least they try. They look silly, but white people notice their attempts. White people give them a pat on the back. Good boy. But Black American people, they stand out. Collectively, when you look around, you could tell that all these other non-white people, they want to be white in the sense of seeking proximity to whiteness, white alignment, white adjacent. You could tell, it's obvious. But Black American people, collectively, they stand out. Why? Because they refuse to bend and mold into whiteness. No matter how much white people have tried to bend and mold them into whiteness, they can't. Because Black American people, they do their own thing. Collectively, they will not bend the knee.
We don't like Black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want Black judges. We don't want anything for Black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a Black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner, we can have a black teacher, we can have a black coach, we can have black players, but only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with.
Comfort. Safe.
I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends.
Ah, you heard that?
If you look at the statistics, it's obvious you should be a lot more fearful of your black children hanging out with other black kids. I mean, the
Get out of here. See, that individual is a great example of the type of black people that white people are okay with. The yes massa type.
I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear black people is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath.
You want powerless black people. You're okay with black entertainers. Have you noticed? I said, have you noticed that there are Chinatowns, Korean towns, successful communities of non-white people? But every time in American history that black American people have created their community, what happens? You dropped the bomb on me, baby. By the way, white America refuses to allow black people to have their own communities. When black American people have built their own communities, what does white America do?
We want you to be below us, beneath us. And we've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I think I heard somebody say that white people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. And I believe that. We are so similar to Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthals. We're fucking pale monsters. I really hate being white sometimes. I'm super ashamed. One of the reasons white people hate black people is because
Bro, I can't make this up, man. These Trump supporters leaving the MAGA said they was tricked. They ain't got a support group. They got a fucking support group. Bro, I can't make this up, man. These Trump supporters.
Starts right off. We hear this blonde, clearly intoxicated girl drop a racial slur at this young lady in the blue sweatshirt. So all we've seen so far is this legless, drunk blonde girl in this dormitory drop a racial slur and throw some of the weakest right and left hooks I've seen in my life, and the girl in the blue is just swatting them away like pesky mosquitoes. Now, for the last 20 seconds of this 45-second viral clip, this blonde chick calms down with the physicality and just starts repeating this derogatory slur towards the young girl in the blue sweat.
Today, Iran unveiled a giant mural on the side of a building of Trump in a coffin, and it even included his family. There's Ivanka, Melania, and the rest of his kids with coffins, and the White House in flames. Guys, this is a massive mural. It's in Tehran's Palestine Square, and hundreds of people, maybe thousands, will see this every day. Look how big this is. This is a massive mural. Is this a serious threat or just propaganda by the Iranian government? And we know that there must be some sort of credible threat that forced the president to switch planes that the New York Times unveiled. And those reporters that released that report were subpoenaed and had to appear in court this week. So it's important to know that we had security vulnerabilities on Trump's new Qatari Air Force One, and that he could not take that because of the threats from Iran, because of things like this giant mural. And there is so much more happening in that country, but we are not even getting all of it. We're just getting a small glimpse right now. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like, share, spread the word, follow along for more, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Kelly, can you take me through that second quarter play with Stokes that made you upset?
Yeah, I got kneed right in the quad. Like, that hurts. Like, the ref can't miss that. And then I have to play with a contusion in my leg the rest of the game. Like, it's ridiculous. Can't miss calls like that.
Did they give you an explanation right after when you...
She said I initiated the contact. Which is fine. You can't knee me in the leg, knock me over.
Good Lord, this man is very, very upset at me. Well, what do we have here, Mr. Cade? Dumb F-slur, you block and report me. I hope you pass away, B-boy. If I catch you out, it's a wrap. Straight chicken, watermelon, and grits on the ground, dumb N-word. What? Why your kid look slow? Why your kid look like it ride the short bus? From the neck down, you trying to play a stereotypical freaking black man. But from the non-existent lips and up, it's giving 1990s Timu Leonardo DiCaprio with that haircut. What did you think this was, Cade? What did you think this was? What? Yeah, chat, I'm gonna need help finding the real name and identity of this one. Can y'all share this one around? See if anybody recognizes this fool. Thank you. Good Lord, this man is very, very upset at me. Well, what do we have here, Mr. Cade? Dumb F-slur, you block and report me. I hope you pass away, B-boy. If I catch you out, it's a wrap. Straight chicken, watermelon, and grits on the ground, dumb N-word. What? Why your kid look slow? Why your kid...
No! Hey! Hey!
And so I'm sure y'all have heard the news. What the Cherokee Nation decide they finally want to recognize us. We don't need your recognition, bitch. Okay? We already knew who we were. We know that y'all sided with them folks and enslaved us as well. Okay? Y'all. And so I'm sure y'all have heard the news.
Have you ever seen a village with white skinned people?
Nope.
Have you ever seen an uncontacted tribe of white skinned people?
Nope.
And that ain't suspicious to you?
So where do you think they came from?
Have you ever seen a village with white skinned people?
None of this make any sense. Look at this. I don't even know if that's water or the shit from the people that fell before him. Why are you there? Get away from there. Look at him. He ain't even comfortable. This is some bullshit.
Anybody see this Dean Withers debate 20 MAGA women on Jubilee? Dean Withers, he's this young dude, super sharp, great debater. I aspire to have the patience of this young man. Lord Jesus, the patience of this early 20-something white boy. No, I ain't even gonna call him a boy. He a man. He a man. The Herculean patience. You got to see it. Jubilee debate, 20 MAGA women, Dean Withers. Anybody?
The biggest conspiracy in the history of lies happened. And that is that we are indigenous from America. We come from America. We don't come from Africa. But in order for them to take the precious treasures of America, which we have oil, we have gold, we have copper, we have all that here. Where are these slave ships? Where are these slave ships? They made it seem like it was this big mass transatlantic slave trade where millions of us came from Africa. Where's the boats? Where's the boats at? Where's the boats? Where's the boats at? Everything in history have evidence of the past. Where's the boats? Where's the boats at? Because they're trying to make us subconsciously identify with a place that is not really our home. This is our home. Majority of the sea have been explored where they finding all these ancient relics showing us the past. Where are these slave ships? 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 If we went through this big transatlantic slave trade, then where are the true stories coming down from my ancestors and coming down from my family? Where's the boats? Where's the boats at? My grandma, paternal side, full-blooded Cherokee. All she did was chew tobacco. Ancient traditions of Indians in America.
Indians in America.
Or I don't think somebody was born in Africa and then migrated millions and trillions of miles. So we have different traditions. Even our physiological and our DNA structure is different from us in Africa. Like, where's the boats?
Where's the boats at?
Black is the color of our Crayola. Black is the color of our crown. We're not the color of our crown. We're copper-skinned people. We're copper-skinned people. We're copper-skinned people. We were prisoners of war. They came to our land. They took over our land. The strong ones of us, they broke us mentally, and then they made us work on our own land. How you think we did the shit so good? We're the best cotton pickers because we was picking cotton before they came here. They put Africans to anything that's black, but that's not true. Where's the boats at? The sea have been explored where they finding all these ancient relics showing us the past. Where are these slave ships? The whole plot and plan is to create this mass transatlantic slave propaganda. Not saying that black people was not enslaved in America. We suffered from slavery. My great-great-grandma was actually enslaved. I do believe that all people of melanin descent do have some type of ancestral DNA connection, but we are not all the same people, and we don't all keep a hold of the same traditions. And I haven't found any evidence that truly suggests that. The biggest conspiracy in the history of lies happened.
So the real question I have, are we surprised? Are we surprised at all? These are the usual suspects when it comes to people touching cheering. We hear it and see it every day. Yeah, I hope they got wood chippers they marching y'all to. I swear to God there's a wood chipper need to be in there. So the real question I have, are we surprised? Are we surprised at all? These are the usual suspects when it comes to people touching children. We hear it and see it every day. Yeah, I hope they got wood chippers they marching y'all to. I swear to God, there's a wood chipper need to be in there. So the real question I have, are we surprised? Are we surprised at all? These are the usual suspects when it comes to people touching children. We hear it and see it every day. Yeah, I hope they got wood chippers they marching y'all to. I swear to God, there's a wood chipper need to be in there. So the real question I have, are we surprised? Are we surprised at all? These are the usual suspects when it comes to people touching children. We hear it and see it every day. Yeah, I hope they got wood chippers they marching y'all to. I swear to God, there's a wood chipper need to be in there. So the real question I have, are we surprised?
Now for a discovery which may surprise you. Scientists have found that most of us still have a little bit of a Neanderthal inside us. A study into the DNA of the human subspecies found that they interbred with more.
Let me tell you about the hypocrisy of white racist people. Did you guys know that white MAGA, white racists, white triple K, white Nazis are telling this man after they found out he lost his job today for being a racist POS, they are advocating for this man to start a GoFundMe. Aren't y'all the same people that be in my comment sections coming at me and other black creators for simply having their Cash App up? So let's get this straight. Me, with almost 500,000 followers on Instagram, who do this kind of content for free. I don't think y'all understand. I literally risk my fucking life doing this. Cause some of these white people really is crazy. And I still be getting their asses fired. I be risking my life doing this for free. And not just MAGA, but you got people who are on the left coming for me and other black creators for having our Cash App up every video. It's crazy. And in my humble opinion, black creators who do this type of call out content where we're exposing dangerous racist white people like this, we should be getting paid. We should be getting tipped. We should be getting Cash Apped. Every last one of us. And to be honest, a lot more white T supporters should be trying to financially help us. That's on reparations, but that's a conversation for another day. And to the white folks who get it, get it. For the white folks who don't, you don't even need to be following me no more. But back to this clown. This man's about to start a GoFundMe. You know he's gonna raise an easy $500,000, $2 million without even blinking. And MAGA is okay with that. They're not gonna call him a beggar. They're not gonna call him a this or that. Nope, just make a GoFundMe, raise your $1 million, we got you. But if you're a black content creator or a POC creator and you call out people like this, simply having your Cash App up, these hypocrites are gonna call you a beggar, saying that you ain't got no job, all types of shit. It's hypocrisy.
I can't have.
Hey y'all, Alabama fella here with some more WPS. That's white people shit for those of y'all that don't know. Look, I want to talk to the other Mayo sapiens that your white identity has never been under attack. You can be as white as you want to be. You can eat all the mayonnaise. You can put all the raisins in. You can dance offbeat as long as you want. All right? There might be some people that make a little joke or two. I'm one of those people. But when you identify your culture, your heritage, and your history with white supremacy, with the Confederacy, with waving the rebel flag, with celebrating a bunch of people that owned other people and saying those are the best people that there ever was and we should go back to a time like that, that's the problem. Okay? That's the problem. You can't simultaneously benefit from the oppression of black and brown people, culture, music, food, clothing, and then say that your culture is the best culture. Because literally the United States is built on many cultures melting together. All right. The only thing that's unique American in this world is oppression, chattel slavery, subjugation, and racism. That is uniquely, America can own the shit out of that. And they should. And they should. They're definitely the best at it. Hey y'all, Alabama fella here with some more WPS. That's white people shit for those of y'all that don't know. Look, I want to talk to the other Mayo sapiens that your white identity has never been under attack. You can be as white as you want to be. You can eat all the mayonnaise. You can put
Part two, she got the same hairstyle on me. She got the same hairstyle on me. It's all those short layers. It's all these like real short layers and kind of outdated from about 40 years ago. I just like to look like how I felt in high school, you know? Part two, she got the same hairstyle on me.
It's time this country does something about this white-on-white crime wave that's gripping America, and I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, the receipts are in the numbers. The moment the Charlie Kirk news broke, anyone who knows America's history of violence had the same thought. According to the FBI and the Justice Department, 81% of violent crimes committed against white people are committed by white people. And according to the Rockefeller School of Government, 55% of mass shooters are white. That is a criminal profile we are not paying close enough attention to. Thing number 2, the media lies to you for profit. Corporate outlets like CNN and Fox News rake in billions, fueling imaginary fears. The dark hooded immigrant, the gun-toting black gang member. This keeps white America terrified, so that they can sell you gold coins, laundry detergent, and survival kits. But here's the truth. The Cato Institute found that undocumented immigrants are 26 times less likely than native-born Americans to be convicted of violent crimes like homicide. The fear they sell you isn't just unfounded, it's a con designed to keep you scared and spending. Thing number 3, white folk, the call is coming from inside the house. The overwhelming majority points to one conclusion, that white people are most at risk from other white people. The shooters in school, the domestic terrorists, the suburban mass killer, they don't look like the caricatures the media is peddling. They look like your classmates, your coworkers, your neighbors. Until America is ready to confront that reality, we'll keep watching tragedies mount while we're blaming the wrong people. This isn't about immigration. This isn't about the inner cities. There is no trans agenda. The real crime wave in America is white on white crime, and ignoring it has deadly consequences. But what do you think?
We need to talk about Sofia Vergara's picture on Instagram that she recently posted.
I do not care about the rights of blacks.
By the looks of it, your chromosomes don't care much about continuity. You look like undeveloped clay. I mean, I don't know what's going on with you, but it's screaming, I still make figurines with my feces. In which case, we as black folks no longer give a flying fuck what you sun-dodging napkin ninjas care about. We don't. Question is, what you gonna do about it? That's where we're at. What you gonna do about it? Because if you don't care, then there should be nothing stopping you from handling whatever fucking problem you got. I didn't fucking think so. So I tell you what, you can continue to chill like the acid of a penguin. Y'all aren't about that life. In real life, you're nice. You would like to get along. You would rather say these things in your head. Because if you were to say it in front of the people you really have a problem with, you would have to back that shit up. And we're not talking about pulling up to your bumper like Grace Jones. you're going to have to get down with the get down. And since the rapist and pedophile has forsaken you, left you out to dry, did not come through on any of the promises, risking your safety and overall health, really gonna tap your pockets. The economy is shit. No one's hiring, so it don't look like you're in a position to get thumped up.
So for all the racists on here who love to talk about black and brown predators or the dangers of undocumented folks, can you please explain why nearly 80% of the people who produce, distribute, or possess child SA material are white men, and almost all of them are U.S. citizens? And by the way, you can check that data for yourself. So you see this? This is the U.S. Sentencing Commission's interactive data analyzer, which is a nifty little tool that lets you look up stats on any federal crime category overall, and then you can break it down by race. And then you can calculate the percentage of that crime done by each racial group for every year going all the way back to 2015, or you can do it for a range of years. So I did that for child SA material prosecutions from 2015 all the way through 2025. And it turns out that 78% of those prosecutions were of white men, almost 8 out of 10, while only 6% were of black men. You know, that group that y'all racists say is the most dangerous and awful group out there? So what the hell is it about white men that explains this? I mean, after all, for other crimes, everybody's got a theory to explain it, right? For typical street-level violent or property crimes, both the left and the right have theories. We on the left say socioeconomic factors can explain them. The right says it's culture, maybe even biology. But my point is, everybody has a theory. And yet, when it's white dudes that predominate disproportionately in some category of misdeeds like child SA material or child sexual exploitation, also about 71% of those are white folks, according to a DOJ report released in January of this year, or spree killing or mass school shooting, suddenly nobody has an analysis at all. Apparently, we just treat that shit like some inexplicable individual pathology, or we write it off to mental illness or video games or some shit. We never blame it on white culture. We never blame it on whiteness. We never blame it on white DNA. We never ask what's wrong with the white family. We do that about the black family all the time. We say, where are the black dads? We never ask where the white dads are. What's wrong with white fathers? Well, apparently some of the white dads and some of the white uncles are online looking at the child SA material. That's the problem. If we were actually a country that cared about actual predators, particularly the ones who threaten children, if we were actually worried about danger, we'd be asking this question about why white people and white men in particular are so predominant in this category of dangerous criminal offending. But we're not that country. We just want to racialize danger and crime. We don't actually want to protect people from harm. So for all the racists on here who love to talk about
You guys watch them white nationalists walking through Washington? What do you guys think about that? Over 400 white nationalists walking around with their little faces covered. Tell me something, why, if you're so proud of your movement, why you hiding your face? I don't understand that. You know, I mean, if you're proud of your movement and you believe in your movement, why are you covering your face? Huh? It don't make no sense to me. You know what? We're going to look back on this in history. We're going to look back on this in history. And we're going to find out who them little boys are. Them little boys walking around wearing their fucking khakis and their little mask, their little fucking Confederate flags. We're going to find out who they are, and we're going to make sure that they do not have a life in America. People like that should not be employed. They should not be even a part of our society. What you believe in is not what America's about. It never was. You know, you're picking up another country's ideology. And this ain't fucking Nazi. This ain't Nazi Germany. This is America, land of the free. We are a melting pot of people. This is a diverse community. This ain't Nazi Germany. We're gonna find out who you are. And the fact that you're fucking stupid. You guys watch them white nationalists?
When my ancestors settled America, they didn't rely on handouts or assistance. Yeah, and that's how they ended up cannibalizing a teenager. It is wild how many of you gloss over the fact that colonists ate a person. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Katie, your friendly neighbourhood social scientist and host of the history podcast, Who Did What Now? Jamestown is often remembered as America's first successful colony, and it was successful eventually. The winter between 1609 and 1610 became known as the Starving Time, and 80% of the colony died in less than a year. But for why, I hear you ask? Well, that's because the colonists had a terrible habit of arriving incredibly unprepared. Many were gentlemen who expected to find gold, not grow food. And ignoring the advice of the indigenous population, they settled on marshy land with contaminated water, and disease, well, it spread quickly. And because of the colonists' aggressive need to clear and possess land, well, their relationship with the Powhatan Confederacy disintegrated. As a result, indigenous communities stopped trading with them and then laid siege to the fort. With no supplies arriving from England and no way to hunt or farm out with the settlement, well, starvation set in. Guess that's what happens when you bite the hand that feeds you. They ate horses, dogs, cats, rats, leather. They even boiled off the starch from their boots. After which they turned to cannibalism. That's right, they butchered and consumed a 14-year-old girl. And that's not speculation, we can actually see the marks on her bones. And yeah, Jamestown survived, but not because it was a well-planned colony, it was not. It survived despite poor planning, unrealistic expectations, and the fact that England kept sending people over who were much better at looking for gold than they were for growing dinner. Turns out colonising a continent is a wee bit more difficult when you ignore the advice of the people who already know how to survive there. It's American History Month, so get in losers, we're getting history.
You ask them, what have black people ever done to you? And they'll start naming minute things. They made fun of me. They didn't disenfranchise you. See, the things that you can name that black people have done for you do not equal disenfranchised. But historically, the things that white people have done for you have not only been racist, but disenfranchised you. Yet, you can seem to get over that. And the reason why you're able to get over that is because white people love a lapdog. They love it. They love it. The white people desire nothing more. Nothing more. There is no greater gesture to white people than being able to be used by them. They love it. Oh, sure. Hate Asians? They can hate Asians with all the passion in their heart. They will still let you do their hands and feet. They'll let you do nail. They'll let you do nail. They'll let you do nail. Damn! They can hate Mexicans every fucking day of the year, but on Cinco de Mayo, they will come in there and drink tequila and cerveza and eat nachos and wear sombrero. And you'll be in there happy as a pig and shit to have white people in your step. Shit! Every racist small town you go to, I guarantee you, if you can't find nothing else in that bitch, you can find a Mexican restaurant. Damn! They love a little ass kissing. And y'all love kissing some ass. Yeah.
Damn. Peace.
Jaden, you got to do something. You can't be sitting there. Jaden, you're getting
Yo, what are we watching? That's how I fight in my dreams. Dang.
Okay, look, I'm tired of hearing the same thing over and over. I've been trying to talk to these morons out here in the sticks, and I'm telling you right now, these people out here have got this thing where they think Obama was the divider. Oh, Obama started the division. Listen, you racist. No, he didn't. Just because a black man runs for president and wins, and you get pissed off about it, that's not him dividing. That's you being a racist. It cracks me up how all of you backwoods stick white people want to act like Obama was the first divider. Why? Because he ran for president and won? No, that's not dividing. That's your hang-up. That's your division. A real divider is what Trump's doing. Rigged elections. How sick do you got to be to follow a man who thinks that the United States don't have fair elections? We got the fairest elections in the world in the history of mankind. But you guys want to dirty up that because your boy don't win. It's like the fat kid running in school, always wanted to blame everybody. My shoe's untied. You cheated. You started first. No. You lost. And you don't get to claim that somebody's a division or a divider because they're black and they win an election. That's not how life works. That's not how common sense works. My God. Okay, look.
To make a quick video for the unfuckable dirt road trailer goblin incels. How you doing out there, MAGA cucks? What are you guys up to? You molesting some kids or just worshiping somebody that does? I'm sure it's one or the other, because you guys all pretty much seem to be kid fuckers. Pretty fucking gross and terrifying. Hope you get the necklace that you deserve. If I have anything to do with it, you fucking will. You all will. Oh man, you worship a pedophile that shits his fucking diaper every day. A weakling ass pussy pedophile. Donald Trump is the biggest fucking weakling, cowardly piece of dog shit that is alive today. All his sons are pussies. Have you seen them? Have you seen his sons? You guys always talk about alpha males. Which one of these motherfuckers do you think is an alpha male? Barron or Don Jr. or Eric or maybe J.D. Vance, or is it Mike Johnson? Which one of these boot-licking, Russian, treasonous, Russian asshole-licking base model beta bitches do you guys think is a tough guy? It's so fucking funny. I want to watch you guys explain how you support this Iran deal. That doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz, that gives Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz, that lets Iran charge people to pass through the Strait of Hormuz and keep the money, that lets Iran keep their enriched uranium, and you dumb, illiterate, mental midget redneck clowns. You're on Facebook acting like this is a good thing and this is like great for America and you support it. You're so fucking stupid. It's embarrassing. I hate your guts. You don't deserve to be alive. But I feel bad for you that you're this fucking stupid. How is anybody so motherfucking dumb that they think a deal where Iran is gonna keep the strait closed, charge people to pass through it, keep their enriched uranium, and has sanctions lifted on all the oil so they can sell the oil they weren't able to sell before, and you think that that's good for America and bad for Iran? You must be the dumbest motherfucker that's ever lived. How pitiful, bitch. And now you got this dying hospice, neck pussy, orange face, dirty diaper, fucking cankle, swollen cankle, pants shitting pedophile. This saggy tit fat pedophile got you convinced that mail-in voting is the worst thing ever, and he votes by mail in every election, you stupid gullible redneck bitch. Goddamn, I wish I could laugh in your face right before I fucking spit in it, you stupid fucking redneck. To make a quick video for the unfuckable dirt road trailer goblin incels. How you
So I told you that the Tartarians were a part of the Moorish Empire, and you didn't believe me. But when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. So, the Moors ruled much of Spain for almost 400 years, from 711 to 1086, before they was driven south and continued their rule of southern Spain and the Kingdom of Granada for a further 400 more until 1492. Now, did the Moors bring Europe out of the Dark Ages? The Moorish advances in mathematics, astronomy, arts and agriculture helped propel Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance. The Moors brought enormous learning to Spain that over centuries would percolate through the rest of Europe. And how dark were the Dark Ages really? For historians who work primarily from Texas, those centuries are indeed and are most likely to remain lost centuries. In other words, the Dark Ages weren't dark because they were bad, but because our knowledge of them is limited. But that's just the thing. These are not the lost centuries. These are the centuries that they tried to hide. These are the times when the Moors and the Tartarians used to rule. Now this is the Tartarian flag, and this is one of the Moorish coat of arms. Notice that it's a black bird with a yellow flag, and if you put them both together, you get the double-headed black bird, which represents the Moors and the Tartarians. Now look at the Moorish Tartarian flag next to the Russian flag. It's almost exactly the same. And if you look into the center of the Russian flag, you will see a white horse ridden by a white man killing the Moorish Tartarian black bird. So I told you that the
One thing you can't never call me is a fucking racist. I could never look down on another human being that eats shit, sleeps, and breathes and bleeds just like I do, simply because the color of their skin. Hell, if I spend 20 minutes in the fucking sun without sunscreen, I'm a whole different color my damn self. People blow my fucking mind. 2026 in the United States of America and race is still as big a problem as it is today. It says a lot about where we are as a fucking society. And to all you white motherfuckers that sit around your fucking friends of color and laugh and ha-ha and kiki, but you're fucking quiet right now, fuck you. One thing you can't never call me is a fucking racist.
White people trying to get in our party. Hey! Huh? He said it's a colors only party. I know it's 2026, but the way things are going, it's a colors only party right now. Colors only. I love it.
Cause he's a first class loser. Cause he's a first.
So many people from the African American community are in my inbox thanking me for just speaking out. It's just amazing to me that someone saying some simple words, standing against racism, means the world to some people. And it just kills me that this is where we're at. So many people reaching out to me from the African American community and the Latino community telling me thank you for speaking out. I wish I could do more to help y'all. I wish I could do more to make this a better place. I really wish that I knew what I could do to end it right now. But all I can do is keep using my voice and my platform. That's all I can do. I love y'all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. You don't have to thank me. This is what a good human being should do. This is what all the rest of you motherfuckers should be doing. Stand up. If you don't believe in that racist bullshit, just stand up and speak out against it. I love y'all.
Yep, you got that right. Yeah, we did it. We sure did do it. What you think? What you think we do when we take y'all young men camping with us? We know them boys don't know how to swim. Yeah. You throw them in that water. They say, swim, boy, swim! Woo! Learn how to swim, boy! You can't do it! You can't do it, boy. Y'all ain't ever gonna learn how to swim. Yeah. Yeah, they did it. Them boys did it. This is a damn tradition for us. Yeah. This is a tradition. We take you boys out in the woods. And we throw you in the swamp. We throw you in the creek. We throw you in the springs and rivers. Yeah, we throw you in them oceans. Y'all can't do a damn thing. Y'all be in there splashing and screaming, I can't swim, I can't swim, oh hell nah. But you know, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault you're fucking stupid. Grown man don't know how to swim. Yeah, what y'all think we do? You know, yeah, it's a big conspiracy. You know, every 6 months this skin tone, we all get together in our neighborhoods and we have like a little neighborhood meeting. And y'all ain't invited. We get together, we make plans, we talk about y'all, talk about, yeah, let's put this one in football, you know, let's put this one in basketball, yeah, let's encourage him to do that and this, yeah. We bet on y'all. Man, we just play y'all like a damn game and y'all don't even know it. This is a tradition. Been going on since the beginning of time. And y'all still in the dark. And you know, I thought I'd go ahead and tell you, but even me telling you, it's still just gonna be conspiracy and nobody's gonna be able to prove it. Yeah. This happens all around the nation. All of us are involved. Every single one of us. Mm-hmm. Yep, you got that.
Oh, chat. We gotta get this one.
Good morning, niggas. I seem to have pissed a lot of people off.
To me, a racist is someone that hates an entire race of people. A great, deep disdain for an entire race of people.
The fact that you're Cuban and a Zionist does not surprise me by the least bit, gang. Like, at all. Oof, ain't Christian? Ooh. Oh, don't worry. We're going to put her Instagram right here in this caption. And the Instagram is wide open. If she has a job, I want it gone. If she owns a business, I want it destroyed. And if you're Hispanic, bring your ass to the front. Baby, your time is now. Make the black community proud. Get this bitch. Oh, chat. We got...
Who in Illinois knows this Harry Pillsbury dope boy looking at right here? Anybody know him? If you know him, let's find out what his business is and or job is. Let's find out who this miserable piece of crap is getting triggered because of a free Palestine sign. Let's get it. Look at this fat, angry and
This is one of you, MAGAs. This is one of you. One of you that claim that are Christian. And you're MAGA. So not only are MAGAs fake Christian, they're pedophiles, rapists, bestialities. I don't even know how to say that like that, but you know what I mean. You look at your dog and say, disgusting. Disgusting.
Having renovations done on his home, and so his wife installed security cameras. It's been alleged that his wife believed he was bringing adult workers into the home for himself, and that when she reviewed the surveillance footage, she found videos of him and their small dog, Shipley. The exact timeline isn't super clear, but what we do know is his wife filed for divorce in December of 2025. And then a month ago, the SPCA reached out to the police telling them that they had been told by his wife that there were these disturbing videos. So that prompted the investigation into him, where his wife told police that is 100% my husband and 100% our dog.
Okay, MAGA. Every day.
This Texas attorney and father is being charged.
Learn and evolve. That's what it means to have emotional intelligence and critical thinking skills. I got a couple reels this week and I didn't say things exactly the right way. So here's what I want to correct. Yesterday I put out a reel about Memorial Day said we've become fascist. That was wrong. We've always been fascist. What I should have said is that we've become overtly fascist, where we're not even trying to hide it anymore. Okay, that's what I really should have said. Because yes, America is built on fascism, starting with the indigenous peoples that we murdered and stole their land. Slaves we actually kidnapped and brought here and tortured for a really long freaking time. And then even when they won their freedom after the Civil War, we've still consistent and violent oppression of them. So that's actually fascism. Oh, and not to mention women. The world has been fascist against women since the dawn of civilization. And you want to know why? Because the patriarchy, which is what runs the world, a majority of it, is inherently fascist. Secondly, I did a reel earlier this week about how the Democrat and Republican parties have flipped ideologies. And what I want to make sure that is clear is I don't mean that the Republicans became Democrats and the Democrats. No. What I mean is they changed their ideologies. Duh. Which is what happens over time when the context in which these parties are existing changes. I should have said the Democrats and the Republicans' ideologies are vastly different than they were when those parties were originally founded. And both parties were based on racism. They're racist still in both parties. It's not like the Democrats are like the anti-racist party. No, there's still a bunch of racists in the Democratic Party. They might claim they're for civil rights, but they still don't want black people to live in their freaking neighborhoods or go to their kids' schools. They still love gentrification. They still love capitalism, which benefits what? Who? White men, mainly. And the women who lick the boots of wealthy white men. So let me just be clear. The Democratic and Republican parties were based on racism because our entire country was founded on it. If I took a lifetime of Silkwood decontamination showers, I still wouldn't feel clean of the rot.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning. I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me. Now these idiots are wanting to get a judge involved because I'm a dangerous person. And now they want to, try and do something about custody because I'm too much of a danger.
You came onto this platform and mocked the death of a black child. You made a satire rage bait video where people don't know if you're serious or if it's joking. So yeah, if you have children, people are absolutely going to question your ability to be around said child, or any child for that matter. I don't know why you thought that this was not going to go this way, because you would expect the exact same thing if the roles were reversed, now wouldn't you? Absolutely you would. So consequences of your own actions is all that you're facing, my dude. Get off the fucking internet.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning. I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me. Now these idiots are wanting to get a judge.
Look at this fat, angry and look what he's angry about.
What's your problem, man? My problem? Yeah, what's your problem?
This is the United States of America, not this Palestine.
Tough
You're on an illegal
and I'm gonna
business.
explain.
It's an illegal sign.
No, it's not.
You just wait till the next
It's on
meeting.
private property. Do you understand that, sir? Do you understand what private property is? How's it blocking? How? Explain how.
It's blocking.
Explain how.
I will.
Now explain. It doesn't matter. We're going to show you that it's on private property. You know that, don't you? Do you know?
Illinois. Who in Illinois knows this Harry Pillsbury dope boy looking at right here? Anybody know him? If you know him, let's find out what his business is and or job is. Let's find out who this miserable piece of crap is getting triggered because of a Free Palestine sign. Let's get it. Look at this fat, angry and look what he's angry about.
What's your problem, man?
My problem?
Yeah, what's your problem?
This is the United States of America, not this Palestine. Palestine.
Tough shit.
You're running an illegal
And I'm gonna
business.
explain.
It's an illegal sign.
No, it's not.
You just wait till the
It's
next board
on
meeting.
private
You're
property. Do you understand that,
it's a
sir?
menace.
Do you understand
It's
what private
blocking
property
public-
is?
It's
How's it blocking?
the
How?
street.
Explain how.
It's blocking.
Explain how.
I will. You
Now,
wanna come to the next
explain.
board meeting,
It
dickhead?
doesn't matter. We're going to show you that it's on private property. You know that,
and
don't
it's
you?
by the Illinois
Do you know?
Illinois? Illinois? Who in Illinois knows this Harry Pillsbury dope boy looking at right here? Anybody know?
Fuck you, first of all. If you're gonna bring me into this, like, this sexist stuff is like out of control. So there's your clickbait that you were looking for. And,
A lot
like,
of people-
I don't want to talk about anybody's exes and their crazy that they do.
That was Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert going off on Fox News after being asked about allegations that she had an affair with Thomas Massey.
Fuck you, first of all. If you're gonna bring me into this, like, this sexist stuff is like out of control. So there's your clickbait that you were looking for. And,
A lot of
like,
people-
I don't want to talk about anybody's exes and their crazy that they do.
That was Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert going off on Fox News after being asked about allegations that she had an affair with Thomas Massey.
Fuck you, first of all. If you're gonna bring me into this, like, this sexist stuff is like out of control. So there's your clickbait that you were looking for. And,
A lot of
like,
people-
I don't want to talk about anybody's exes and their crazy that they do.
That was Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert going off on Fox News after being asked about allegations that she had an affair with Thomas Massey.
Fuck you, first of all. If you're gonna bring me into this, like, this sexist stuff is like out of control. So there's your clickbait that you were looking for. And,
A lot of
like,
people-
I don't want to talk about anybody's exes and their crazy that they do.
That was Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert going off on Fox News after being asked about allegations that she had an affair with Thomas Massey.
I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me.
Ooh, so to recap, everybody knows who you are, lost your job, and kicked out of the house by your family. That's in addition to him complaining that the FBI contacted members of his family, and he claims that now people are trying to make sure he loses custody of his child, or they didn't get to see his child. I didn't even know you had a child, dude. But yeah, that sucks. He did give a play-by-play, though, of losing his job. He said, went to speak to my boss this morning before everyone got there. I'm walking up the building, and I can hear the phone ringing inside over and over, so I knew it was them. I told him what was going on, and he already knew, so I left him the keys to my work truck, and that's that. Everybody in my family is telling me I don't need to be at home. I need to go somewhere. I don't know, pretty shitty at the moment. I don't know. I need to find an all-white company somewhere to apply. You need it to be all-white? You need a little safe space? Sounds like DEI. Like, why can't you just work at a regular company with everybody? Why's it got to be special? But him not taking accountability and blaming others for his problems is a pretty common theme in all of his long videos. Like here, he said the reason he lost his job in part was because his boss had passed away, his wife took over, a woman owns the company now, and turned an all-white company into half black. That's the reason? Your black coworkers? I mean, he says the reason that he is racist is because black people made him racist.
99% of parents, I'm pretty sure, teach their children that we're all equal, we're all human. Nobody's taught this fucking hate to you. You teach it to us. You radicalize people with your violence, with your racism, with your fucking takeovers, and your trash behavior.
Meanwhile, in between those videos, he posts this, his own little version of like blackface, where he talks about per capita, which is hilarious because he also made a video where he was complaining like, I don't understand how I have like 50,000 views on a video, but it only has like a couple hundred likes. What's going on? You're getting ratioed, dude. Because before, you were speaking to a very small cluster of little white supremacists, and we know this because it's all people supporting you, having the little lightning bolts in their profile. And now the world sees you and the world doesn't like you. The world doesn't support you. But how could this happen to me? I don't know. Fuck-arounds do be finding out. So, anyway, maybe make better choices in your life moving forward. Based on your response, I don't think you're going to, but that's just my advice. A lot can happen in 24 hours. For example, in the last 24 hours, I've had a haircut. And also, this guy's entire life imploded.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed.
Thomas Massey just introduced a bill to let Epstein victims and state attorneys general sue the DOJ for hiding over 3 million files. Trump backed a primary challenge to get him to drop it, but he refused to back down. Now he's fighting to give survivors the power to hold the DOJ accountable in court. If you stand with Massey and the survivors, then give us a follow. You're my kind of people. Thomas Massey just introduced a bill to let Epstein victims and state attorneys general sue the DOJ for hiding over 3 million files. Trump backed a primary challenge to get him to drop it, but he refused to back down. Now he's fighting to give survivors the power to hold the DOJ accountable in court. If you stand with Massey and the survivors, then give us a follow. You're my kind of people. Thomas Massey just introduced a bill to let Epstein victims and state attorneys general sue the DOJ for hiding over 3 million files. Trump backed a primary challenge to get him to drop it, but he refused to back down. Now he's fighting to give survivors the power to hold the DOJ accountable in court. If you stand with Massey and the survivors, then give us a follow. You're my kind of people. Thomas Massey just introduced...
Argentinians, man, you should be ashamed of yourself, huh? You should be ashamed of yourself. Meanwhile, back at racism headquarters. So, Argentina, which is known for their amazing, amazing racism, got into a little trouble because, Argentina's playing England. Shout out to Messi. Messi's one of the greatest soccer players ever. I got it. But it's the Argentinians, the fans that are horrible, they're just so racist. Even after the stuff they were doing to I Show Speed, remember Nazis came to Argentina. Argentina, like I said, tried to get rid of all their black people. That's why their whole team is not, there are no black people on their team, okay? Even though they have Afro-Argentinians. So these Argentinians decided to be racist in Atlanta. Argentina, hay muchos negros en Atlanta. Es una ciudad de muchos negros. Demasiado. Okay? What I said, a lot of black people in Atlanta. It's a very black city. Did they tell you? Ciudad de negros muchos. Demasiado. Huh? Thank you for doing that. You wanted to commit suicide, didn't you? You morons. Oh boy. And you know what? I'm glad you did. Because did you know where you were? I mean, Argentinians can't even hold their racism. But I got to give them credit. I got to give you credit, you Argentinians credit, that you don't give a where you're at. You'll still call people. Good for you. At least you don't hide it. At least I love that. At least you're not fake racist. You're real, all-world, international racist. And I like that you were able to say it around a bunch of black cops and they beat the brakes off you. I thought that was fantastic. Good job. Good job. That was amazing. You can watch some of the footage of these cops handling these bozos and beating that is when cops should be beating on people. I believe in that. That's when brutality should work. When it's practical brutality. All right. Good job and way to handle that. Good job. Muy bien. Fantastico. All of that good shit. Yo, Argentinians, man, you should be ashamed of yourself, huh? You should be ashamed of yourself. Meanwhile, back at racism.
Idiots are wanting to get a judge involved because I'm a dangerous person, and now they want to try and do something about custody because I'm too much of a danger.
You came onto this platform and mocked the death of a black child. You made a satire rage bait video where people don't know if you're serious or if it's joking. So yeah, if you have children, people are absolutely going to question your ability to be around said child, or any child for that matter. I don't know why you thought that this was not going to go this way, because you would expect the exact same thing if the roles were reversed, now wouldn't you? Absolutely you would. So consequences of your own actions is all that you're facing, my dude. Get off the fucking internet.
So, as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning. I had to leave home. Everybody's fucking pissed off at me. Now these idiots are wanting to get a judge involved because I'm a dangerous person, and now they want to, try and do something about custody because I'm too much of a danger.
You came onto this platform and mocked the death of a black child. You made a satire rage bait video where people don't know if you're serious or if it's joking. So yeah, if you have children, people are absolutely going to question your ability to be around said child, or any child for that matter. I don't know why you thought that this was not going to go this way, because you would expect the exact same thing if the roles were reversed, now wouldn't you? Absolutely you would. So consequences of your own actions is all that you're facing, my dude. Get off the fucking internet.
So as you all know, I've been doxxed. I lost my job this morning.
I don't know if anybody realized that, the diaper-wearing buffoon racist in the White House can't do an interview with anybody. So he finally gets his loser son Eric's wife, which I'm sure he's already probably done, and he's going to get her to come in and sit down and do this, softball interview with him. Because, Trump, he can't stand any tough questions that have any smarts behind it, because he's an idiot. But what you got here, you got a diaper-wearing moron, cokehead, that refused to accept the deal that a black man made, because, let's face it, Obama had a great deal with Iran. He signed, he had everything sealed up, everything was there. We was able to go in, look at what they had to inspect. Everything was great. But then you got the big racist idiot comes in. Of course, he don't like nothing Obama does, because he's a racist. So he had to burn down the deal. Now we're sitting in a war that shouldn't have never been started. It's costing us $1 billion a day. Gas prices are through the roof. Nobody can even go through the strait, which is really important for the world economy. And then you got this big diaper-wearing crackhead sitting in an interview acting like, oh, I'm going to make a big deal. Oh, it's going to be great. You already had a deal, you dumbass. You burn it down because you're a racist. You know what? You idiot racist, you come in my feed and you say some of the moronicest shit that has ever been written. You guys just save your breath. Just go to your Klan meeting and tell each other about your dumbass shit. Because everybody out here in the real world, we're tired of even messing with you. It's time that we do away with these people, guys. We need to come together while the steam is behind us, and we need to get rid of these people. They shouldn't even be able to say anything in this country. They're racist, and if it was up to them, there wouldn't even be no people of color here. So let's do the right thing. Let's do the American thing, and let's rise up in this election, and let's do what we need to do to get rid of these idiots.
The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. So now it's time for you to open your eyes. And the only way you can do that is if you open your mind. Can you imagine somebody building something as glorious as this with no electricity or power tools? And can you imagine somebody carrying hundreds of tons of cement and concrete up the hill to the middle of nowhere and building something as glorious as this with just a hammer and a chisel? And let's look at these temples. If these was built with a hammer and chisel, it means if you make one mistake, brother, it's a wrap. It's game over. You're trying to tell me that slaves, because that's what you're going with, slaves chiseled into rock and made these glorious buildings. I don't know about you, but malnourished slaves would be under so much pressure. A mistake is destined to happen. Just look how smooth they was able to make marble with no power tools. You're telling me these men had sandpaper and they're getting jobs done like this? We can't even do this today, brother. I've said this once and I'm gonna say it again. The type of technology that we had back in the day, we just cannot reproduce now. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. So now it's time for you to open your eyes. And the only way you can do that is if you open your mind. Can you imagine somebody building something as glorious as this with no electricity or power tools? And can you imagine somebody carrying hundreds of tons of cement and concrete up the hill to the middle of nowhere and building something as glorious as this with just a hammer and a chisel? And let's look at these temples. If these was built with a hammer and chisel, it means if you make one mistake, brother, it's a wrap. It's game over. You're trying to tell me that slaves, because that's what you're going with, slaves chiseled into rock and made these glorious buildings. I don't know about you, but malnourished slaves would be under so much pressure. A mistake is destined to happen. Just look how smooth they was able to make marble with no power tools. You're telling me these men had sandpaper and they're getting jobs done like this? We can't even do this today, brother. I've said this once and I'm
by teaching your sons to be racist bullies.
It's been a long time coming. They've been talking about a race war forever. Finally, the South shall rise again. The Klan will come out, and they've stayed connected through family, through lineage, through community, through occupations. They've stayed connected through regions, through Republican-controlled areas. They've stayed connected. Law enforcement, biker gangs, courts, right? Police departments and the city councils, right? Everybody all worked up together in secret and in open at times, right? There are people among all sections of society who think long-term about their section. And these guys have been playing this out for a long time. Project 2025 as well, Trump, MAGA, all this shit. And this is their time. This is their furor. And this is where they're saying, of course, it's not just the Mexicans, Somalians, Asian, you know what I mean? It's not just all the people, the Haitians that we're going after over here. Of course, just like before, just like always, the blacks, you know. And they've already gone after trans people, queer people, so now they're just going across the board. Activists, right? It's time to bust the unions too, right? No shit. So all of this shit coming for us. And the trick is you cannot say you deserve it, motherfucker, when your kid gets killed for bullying little black kids. You cannot say you deserve it. And we don't have to say they deserve it. We understand the consequence. That's a natural consequence, right? Somebody fucks with you too much, then you fuck with them back because you don't want to be fucked with. That's a consequence. You feel me? Good luck, fucking race war, little Aryans.
Know this. Carmelo Anthony didn't kill your son. You did. By teaching your sons to be racist bullies.
It's been a long time coming.
Here's something interesting from Iran. They're saying that they have no desire at all to talk to Trump or anybody connected to Trump, that they will only talk to Obama. Oh, this has got to make their butt hurt.
One thing I know for sure.
I know, big words. So let me break it down. When the government kills innocent people in the street, no due process, no arrest, no crime, and we don't get to know the identities of the agents involved in the killing, authoritarianism. Those are death squads that we used to associate with military dictatorships. It ain't democratic. 11 people killed by ICE since the beginning of this administration. Fascist is when the head of state or the president uses the legal system to target his enemies. It's when he literally says it out loud. Orders his Justice Department to find crimes on people he doesn't like. That's no longer a country that's bound by the rule of law. Fascist is a president who undermines the integrity of the electoral system, using the power of the office to say duly elected senators were fraudulently elected with no evidence. We are living a fascist authoritarian nightmare. I'm fucking pissed. You know, healthy people like me are fucking exhausted. It's narcissistic abuse on a daily basis, and it's by design, so people like me eventually shut up. This country is so far gone, I can't wait to fucking leave. And I will never forgive you people, some of whom I used to call friends, for giving this sadistic piece of shit near absolute power to make our lives miserable. After he had already used violence to undermine our democracy, then you gave him the keys to the kingdom again. So fucking stupid. And you think he's gonna leave willingly? I don't see how this ends well. Call me crazy, but I've been right before. It's a fascist authoritarian state. Good luck getting your democracy back. This country is...
Photograph taken at the moment of discovery show a pair of gilded wooden statuette group portraying Tutankhamun standing on the back of a panther. The king wears the white crown of Upper Egypt. Photograph taken at the moment of discovery show a pair of gilded wooden statuette group portraying...
So you guys find this whole 13% thing, all your lame percentages, you always want to bring in statistics, you find those funny, right? Do you know what I find funny? Oh, wow. That's a really, really low number. Really low number. Now let's have a chat about the truth, because the truth will set you all free. So why don't you tell it about what the real reason is for why you guys are doing all of this. We want more women having kids, and you know, we don't want anybody who's non-white immigrating here. Tell the truth. It shouldn't be that hard, right? Be honest. What's the matter? You guys not having children fast enough to keep up with other populations? What's wrong with that? Why do you need to compete? It's weird. It's weird. You guys kind of sound like these guys right here, except, you know, at least they have like super strength. They can fly. What do you guys do? You can't fly. You don't have super strength. And you definitely can't survive the power of a sun. Like, it's the exact opposite of that, actually. Like, the only thing you have is currency. Some of y'all don't even have that. So, in the grand scheme of the planet Earth, it sounds to me like you guys are just fucking white. A small population that is dwindling. Yeah, no offense, but you guys sound really desperate. You sound terrified. Non-bigoted white people, step away for this one. Doesn't include you. I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bigoted white people, yeah, change your story or your narrative or the book ends. I don't think I have to explain myself there. Oh, my bad. You thought I was talking to you guys. Yeah, I wasn't talking to the shit opinion minions. I was talking to the higher up ones. They know who they are. So, you guys will just have to go somewhere else if you guys want to have Spy Kids 5 Island of Lost White People. Okay? I'm glad we had this talk. So, you guys find this whole 13...
Illegal! Go back to Mexico! F***ing illegal!
They say they received reports of a man pushing a woman into a fruit stand while yelling racial slurs and attempting to take her purse. You can't do it! You can't do that! When Noonan returned, tensions spiked as he appears to collide with the owner's husband. Authorities say Noonan immediately engaged officers in gunfire. Officers returned the fire, critically injuring him. He later died at the hospital.
That cracker died. Chat, let's take a wager. Which ninth circle of hell is this racist piece of shit in? That nigga dead. Ooh, we got breaking news.
Get this out of here. Illegal. Go back to Mexico. Illegal.
And I've said this on my channel, but if the minimum wage would have kept up with the times, it'd be $66 an hour. See, you wouldn't have to work 12 hours a day. You wouldn't have to work 14 hours a day if that was the minimum wage. The 1% has stolen $50 trillion from American citizens. Somehow, they feel like that's going to hurt the right. These are people who are living fucking paycheck to paycheck, just like their neighbors. Just like their neighbors. You know, who can't afford health insurance. They can't afford it right now. You know, because of this president in office. Let he kick off, 1.7 million people off their health insurance since the beginning of the year. I understand my views are radical. And it would require change. But whenever I was younger, in my 20s, I bought my house for $30-something thousand. Okay, I was able to buy that and move in. Look at the housing market right now. Nobody can afford a house. Nobody can. And it's going to get worse. And a lot of these equity companies are going around buying up houses, I mean, I couldn't imagine spending $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on a house. You'd never get out of debt. You never get out of debt. I don't give a shit if you're making $200,000 a year. You'd never get out of debt. Because there's still other things you need in life. You need life insurance. You need car insurance. And all that stuff has gone up since this guy's been in office. All this stuff has gone up. And the taxes that you're paying right now, they've gone up since he's got in office. There's no margin. I mean, you don't have any money left over. And the people who are making less than me, they've got nothing. I mean, they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, credit card debt is just through the roof. It's radical thinking. But I like my neighbors. There's a lot of people that don't like me. I get it. I know I'm a radical. See, in my bio, it says, armed, angry, socialist. I get it. You don't like me. It's okay. I still believe that you should be able to afford health care. I still believe that you should be able to afford groceries. And I believe that you should have a fair wage for a day's pay. A fair wage. And I've said this on my channel, but if the minimum wage would have kept up with the times, it'd be $66 an hour. See, you wouldn't have to work 12 hours a day. You wouldn't have to work 14 hours a day if that was the minimum wage. The 1% has stolen $50 trillion from American citizens. Somehow,
again, gather around again, make sure I have your full undivided attention for this post. Because some white folks said some really, really unsettling things to the post I made yesterday. This is part 2. Go watch what I said yesterday. But we're going to read a few of these comments, and then we're going to dive into the history, and we're going to get an understanding on why these white people are like how they are. First off, this was uncovered yesterday about all white people in their 8 people sex ring when they were having their children and their pets being essayed, right? A lot of white people had their opinion and was defending this. Let me show you. Because these people do the most deflecting, right? This Susie Frizzle says, but you guys glorify pimping. Susie, what does that got to do? What does two consenting adults have to do with you people harming children and animals? Another white person got on here and said, they not the problem. Meaning this stuff that's going on, they're not the problem. These are the people that are trying to say that God deserved to get killed and be put in jail for 35 years. These are the same people. They're saying this activity is not a problem. Oh, and here's a good one. The difference is we don't defend criminals. We call it as we see it, and we don't protest for their release. What you people are ridiculous out here. You don't defend them. You just let them do it. You just turn your head. You turn a blind eye. And this is another good one. Because these people never take accountability. I guess you forgot about the Diddy sex parties full of black people, huh? Skylar, there were no children there, you dumbass. Or dogs or animals. And Johnny tried to say these are our white people. No, we don't have no people who... What is up with y'all in the accountability? I know why. And Jay, shout out to Jay, because he said this is a known pattern for them. And I'm going to show y'all how this is a known pattern for them. This is white folks' culture right here. This is where the word pedophilia etymology root meaning comes from. Pedestry. Pedestry is a term for sexual relationships between an adult male and an adolescent boy, derived from the ancient Greek. It literally means love of boys. In ancient white culture Greece, pedestry was highly structured, socialized, institutionalized relationship between an adult male and an adolescent boy. Functioned in the rite of passage as a tool to mentors and was deeply woven into the military and the cultural fabric of white people. So their excuses, rather than being purely erotic, these relationships were designed for educational and social integration. So we understand this is their culture. This is their fabric. This is how they get down. This is why we're never going to get truth about the files, the Epstein files. Spread the word. Get this out here. I don't know.
All right, y'all, I'm back with Historical Fraud Part 3. If you haven't watched Part 1 and 2, go watch that first. But somebody left this comment on my post. And like everybody, they're always trying to tell us we came off ships, but can't tell us shit about it. And so let's get into the numbers. So let's go to the voyage database and let's do a basic search. As you can see here, there are over 36,000 recorded voyages. But let's use the filters to find my people. We'll start with the year 1492 since people love that year so much, and we'll end at 1870 just for the hell of it. Now under vessel departure, we'll select Africa, Europe, and Asia just to stay as broad as possible, and then we'll filter the destination to mainland America because we're only concerned with the United States. Now look, let's narrow it down even further. We'll make the departure location to Africa only. Now we're down to one ship, the Charming Sally. Let's actually read the record. It says 109 captives were embarked in Senegal and 106 were disembarked, meaning 3 people died during the voyage. But here's where everybody stops reading. The principal place where the captives were landed was St. Bartholomew. The vessel's voyage ended in Boston. So according to the database itself, the captives were unloaded in St. Bartholomew, a Swedish-French colony, and the ship completed its journey in Boston. So by the time the ship got to Boston, the database shows the captives weren't on the ship. I'm sure this is an exception, so let's go back to see the other ships. Kingston, New York, Barbados, Rhode Island, Haiti, Newport, Jamaica, Rhode Island, Jamaica, Boston. Over and over again, the same pattern. The database separates where the captives landed and where the vessels ended its voyage, and it's very misleading. So you're not reading the database right, if you're reading it at all, and the people who keep telling us we came on ships never even heard about it. So let's go back to the filters to see how many Africans were actually shipped into mainland North America. So I'm going to skip the place of vessel departure, and I'm going to click principal place where captives were purchased, and I'm going to click Africa. Then I'm going to click primary place where captives were landed, and I'm going to click mainland America. So we have 1,753 trips and about 305,000 Africans made it to mainland America. Now let's change the filter to see how many people were shipped into Africa. Over 260,000 people were shipped into Africa. Then I got curious to see how many people were shipped domestically within Africa. As you can see, about 250,000 Africans were traded domestically within Africa. Then I kept going to find 45,000 traded from other American territories to mainland America, and one last filter to show 85,000 transported domestically within mainland America. This project itself explains that many of these voyages are incomplete, many of these manifests do not exist, and lots of this data is estimates. And the only proof we got is them check marks on them slave schedules. All right, y'all, I'm back with Historical Fraud Part 3. If you haven't watched Part 1 and 2, go watch that first. But somebody left this comment on my post. And like everybody, they're always trying to tell us we came off ships, but can't tell us shit about it. And so let's get into the numbers. So let's go to the voyage database and let's do a basic search. As you can see here, there are over 36,000 recorded voyages. But let's use the filters to find my people. We'll start with the year 1492 since people love that year so much, and we'll end at 1870 just for the hell of it. Now under vessel departure, we'll select Africa, Europe, and Asia just to stay as broad as possible, and then we'll filter the destination to mainland America because we're only concerned with the United States. Now look, let's narrow it down even further. We'll make the departure location to Africa only. Now we're down to one ship, the Charming Sally. Let's actually read the record. It says 109 captives were embarked in Senegal and 106 were disembarked, meaning 3 people died during the voyage. But here's where everybody stops reading. The principal place where the captives were landed was St. Bartholomew. The vessel's voyage ended in Boston, so according to the database itself, the captives were unloaded in St. Bartholomew, a Swedish-French colony, and the ship completed its journey in Boston. So by the time the ship got to Boston, the database shows the captives weren't on the ship. I'm sure this is an exception, so let's go back to see the other ships. Kingston, New York, Barbados, Rhode Island, Haiti, Newport, Jamaica, Rhode Island, Jamaica, Boston. Over and over again, the same pattern. The database separates where the captives landed and where the vessels ended its voyage, and it's very misleading. So you're not reading the database right, if you're reading it at all, and the people who keep telling us we came on ships never even heard about it. So let's go back to the filters to see how many Africans were actually shipped into mainland North America. So I'm going to skip the place of vessel departure, and I'm going to click principal place where captives were purchased, and I'm going to click Africa. Then I'm going to click primary place where captives were landed, and I'm going to click mainland America. So we have 1,753 trips and about 305,000 Africans made it to mainland America. Now let's change the filter to see how many people were shipped into Africa. Over 260,000 people were shipped into Africa. Then I got curious to see how many people were shipped domestically within Africa. As you can see, about 250,000 Africans were traded domestically within Africa. Then I kept going to find 45,000 traded from other American territories to mainland America, and one last filter to show 85,000 transported domestically within mainland America. This project itself explains that many of these voyages are incomplete, many of these manifests do not exist, and lots of this data is estimates. And the only proof we got is them check marks on them slave schedules. All right, y'all, I'm back with Historical Fraud Part 3. If you haven't watched Part 1 and 2, go watch that first. But somebody left this comment on my post. And like everybody, they're always trying to tell us we came off ships, but can't tell us shit about it. And so let's get into the numbers. So let's go to the voyage database and let's do a basic search. As you can see here, there are over 36,000 recorded voyages. But let's use the filters to find my people. We'll start with the year 1492 since people love that year so much, and we'll end at 1870 just for the hell of it. Now under vessel departure, we'll select Africa, Europe, and Asia just to stay as broad as possible, and then we'll filter the destination to mainland America because we're only concerned with the United States. Now look, let's narrow it down even further. We'll make the departure location to Africa only. Now we're down to one ship, the Charming Sally. Let's actually read the record. It says 109 captives were embarked in Senegal and 106 were disembarked, meaning 3 people died during the voyage. But here's where everybody stops reading. The principal place where the captives were landed was St. Bartholomew. The vessel's voyage ended in Boston, so according to the database itself, the captives were unloaded in St. Bartholomew, a Swedish-French colony, and the ship completed its journey in Boston. So by the time the ship got to Boston, the database shows the captives weren't on the ship. I'm sure this is an exception, so let's go back to see the other ships. Kingston, New York, Barbados, Rhode Island, Haiti, Newport, Jamaica, Rhode Island, Jamaica, Boston. Over and over again, the same pattern. The database separates where the captives landed and where the vessels ended its voyage, and it's very misleading. So you're not reading the database right, if you're reading it at all, and the people who keep telling us we came on ships never even heard about it. So let's go back to the filters to see how many Africans were actually shipped into mainland North America. So I'm going to skip the place of vessel departure, and I'm going to click principal place where captives were purchased, and I'm going to click Africa. Then I'm going to click primary place where captives were landed, and I'm going to click mainland America. So we have 1,753 trips and about 305,000 Africans made it to mainland America. Now let's change the filter to see how many people were shipped into Africa. Over 260,000 people were shipped into Africa. Then I got curious to see how many people were shipped domestically within Africa. As you can see, about 250,000 Africans were traded domestically within Africa. Then I kept going to find 45,000 traded from other American territories to mainland America, and one last filter to show 85,000 transported domestically within mainland America. This project itself explains that many of these voyages are incomplete, many of these manifests do not exist, and lots of this data is estimates. And the only proof we got is them check marks on them slave schedules. All right, y'all, I'm back with Historical Fraud Part 3. If you haven't watched Part 1 and 2, go watch that first. But somebody left this comment on my post. And like everybody, they're always trying to tell us we came off ships, but can't tell us shit about it.
It's crazy that it's real, chat. Look at this, huh?
Specific women have testified or named people in legal proceedings. Trump has been named over 38,000 times and implicated in child rape in one of the files. We already know all about his shit with Access Hollywood tag, grabbing women by the pussy and getting away with it. And Howard Stern, 2005, saying, yeah, he goes to the back in the dressing room with the girls while they're dressing, and just like Team USA and shit, because he's the owner, he gets to do that. We know he's depraved. So when somebody says, prove it that he wasn't a pedophile, prove it that he isn't. That's the bigger question. Now, on top of that, now tonight he's going to give this darn speech about, and it's all going to be about his voter suppression bill, because he knows he's going to get creamed in the midterms and investigations will follow. And him and his henchmen and the Republicans in Congress and his cabinet are going to go down. They're going to be investigated for all the fraud and corruption that's been going on in this country since he took office. I'll have more to talk about after I watch this speech, which is going to probably make my skin crawl. But you know what? I'm going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I hope every Republican watches this fucking clown show tonight and sees what really is fucking going on and wakes the hell up. Because it's time for us to save America, period. Everybody's job to save America. I'm going to do everything I can, and I want everybody else to do everything they can too. That's right, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. He's a pedophile. I get all these comments, and some of the comments people send me, and it says, like, prove it, prove it. Well, let's just think about this. The Justice Department has identified 1,200 women and girls that were subject to Jeffrey Epstein, survivors and victims. And over 80 specific women have testified or named people in legal proceedings. Trump has been named over 38,000. Trump has been named over 38,000. I can, and I want everybody else to do everything they can too.
Go to a family reunion this coming weekend. So shout out to you, Mike, and I got faith that you're going to make it happen. You know what I mean?
I'm from New Mexico, the Navajo Reservation.
New Mexico, Navajo Reservation. Now you have the floor. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
So I'm just trying to understand why you guys can't understand that you're not from here. You guys were brought here in, what, 1619?
Is that a question or is that a statement?
I'm just letting you know.
So that's a statement. You came up here saying that we're not indigenous, we're from Africa, brought here in the 1600s. Well, I've got a question for you. How can you prove that you are from the Navajo Nation? Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Okay, guys, you can't find the mute button.
That's not true. I'm trying to find my CIB. Goof.
Okay, there you go. So again, guys, my question to her is, how do you prove that you're a member of the Navajo Nation? And she says, my CBID card. Is that right, ma'am? That's how you can prove it?
It's a CIB. It's a certificate of Indian blood.
So you're saying that you would prove that you're a member of this nation by a card, yes or no?
You pretendians are sad.
So you can't answer a yes or no question. Are you saying your proof of heritage is a card, yes or no? Is that your proof?
That is our federal.
Okay, so that's your federal. Okay, got it. Here's the really funny, strange thing. She's telling us that she's indigenous. She's a member of the Navajo Nation because she has a federal card. And she's telling me that me and my people are not indigenous. Well, guess what? I also have a federal tribal citizenship card. So now we're in some strange territory because she says she's indigenous because she has a card. And I'm saying I'm indigenous, and I also have a federal card. So what the f are we up here talking about? The imbecilic Navajo Nation girl. Your proof of your indigeneity, girl. Your proof of your indigeneity is a federal card. I got that same card, but you want to get up here and say that we're from Africans that got shipped here in the 1600s. See what we're dealing with? Navajo ain't done shit. If you were really indigenous to America, your people wouldn't have settled in the deserted wasteland of this continent. If your people were indigenous to this hemisphere, you would settle in the prime real estate, which is where our ancestors come from, the Southeast, the Caribbean, Central America, South America, where we have rivers and river tributary systems and waterfalls and woods, and we do agriculture and planting and civilization. If your people were indigenous and you were here first, you would not have settled in the most desolate, barren part of the country. But you what? You thought I didn't know geography? Okay. All right. Guys, this is a simple exercise in critical thought.
Shout outs to Mike TV. He's helping me get my